Hey everyone, Connor here, just doing a quick family tree overview. And we're going to start off with I'm down here, it's my dad, it's my grandpa, grandma. And we're going to start here with my grandfather and his sisters. We're going to go straight to Alfred Macdonald Smith, born in 1901 in Windora, Queensland. He had five siblings. Uh, that's their names, not sure what just happened. And his father was Alfred Glencoe Smith, and he was married to a Julia Sheehan. He was born in 1870 in Queensland and died in 1943. By the way, these pictures here are from a family album and are, I guess, 100% real. I don't have, and I know I have a paper trail for them. Next up, his father was Jabez Smith, and mother was Eliza Macdonald, from where we get the Macdonald connection. Not much is known about Jabez. Uh, After a little bit of research, there are some people who have Jabez in their family tree. I guess I should mention quickly that the way I was able to find all these names and some of these photos, especially these photos, were other people on this website, ancestry.com. Their family trees went back to the same people, and all of their family members matched up. And this was a photo submitted for Jabez Smith by somebody, and this was a photo for Eliza Macdonald that somebody posted. Um, I'll make it bigger quickly here in case you've never seen it. But this is where we get our Macdonald connection from. So Eliza was one of 10, I think, or 11, and there was a bunch of them. They all were from Australia. These are some pictures of her siblings that were posted by other people on this website whose family tree kind of goes through them. And then they meet up with us here. And then this is their mother, Eliza Archibald. And she was from Ireland, I believe. Her parents' name were, I guess her name was really spelled Archbold, but when it was written down somewhere, they spelled it Archibald, and that's kind of where it stuck. Donald McDonald is is where the paper trail ends and the speculation starts. I'll quickly go into it. I'm sure that this is the great great grandfather or whatever, great 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 whatever. There is a marriage certificate from when he married Archibald, and they got married in Tasmania in a place called Launceston. The story goes he moved from the Adelaide area to Queensland, and this was him selling his stuff in the Adelaide area. He was selling his land and sheep in order to move, I'm assuming. And then there's the tragic story of his death. Um, I'll leave it here. I'll zoom in quickly so you can read it. But the story goes as he went out looking for his herd of sheep and did not bring his rifle, never came home. And the story goes is that he was killed by the natives. And I'll just quickly put the other half up so you can pause it and read it if you haven't already. And I'm sorry that it's not very clear. It just is what it is. I'm going to go to the bottom. So his body was found and this and that. It was quite tragic. There are also some really interesting stories along with this. Apparently, one of his daughters her husband was also killed in a similar way by the natives, and it's just really strange. But I'll talk about that later maybe. So as I was browsing through this information for Donald McIsaac, I guess is his middle name, which is not, I'm not 100% sure about. There's no documentation that has that written down, but apparently that's what it was. Um, he was born in Scotland in Inverness-shire near Fort Augustus in 1798. And this is kind of where things start to get cloudy because according to like Australian records, he was born in 1808, so a full 10 years after this. So there's multiple people have the family tree with these same names in it, and you can kind of browse through the information they have. And one person that stops at Donald says that when she read the birth or the death certificate, that it mentioned that he was born in Inverness-shire, Scotland, and his father's name was Ronald. And that's where their kind of story ends. And then I found another family who also had him in their family, who said that their father, their great whatever, Ronald, had a son named Donald that went to Australia around the same time. So that's where this next part comes in. So it's really, you have to take it with a big grain of salt. It makes sense that because all the names kind of add up, they're all born in the same area, but we don't really know for sure. But if it's true that this would be the father of Donald, and his name was Ronald McIsaac Macdonald, and he was born apparently in 1754 in Fort Augustus in Inverness, Scotland, and he lived to the ripe old age of 105. Now this is where things get, again, like interesting, because I think that this is not correct. I think that he might have been 10 years younger. Just when you look at the age of his wife, how old he was when he had his first kid. Like it says here that his wife was 15 years of age and he was 44 when Donald, the oldest, was supposedly born in 1798, which doesn't sound correct. It just, compared to every other family member we have, it just doesn't seem, it doesn't jive. It makes more sense that Donald was born in 1808 and Ronald here was born after 1754. But anyways, that's just semantics. But anyways, this guy Donald McIsaac, who apparently is the father of Donald and the rest of the family, he was begged by Donald to come to Australia, and he wanted the whole family to come there and settle, but nobody was interested. Instead, they all moved to Canada, to Ontario, and there's actually records of that. They have a lot of people there. There's a lot of record coming up to this guy. There's a very big following in Canada. Apparently, this started a whole new diaspora of Macdonalds in Canada, and they had their own little mini clan, and they call themselves Clan Ronald McDonald or something from Canada, who apparently is where we come from. It just, everything kind of jives. They were all born in the same place around the same time, and they're talking about their long lost brother Donald that disappeared, went to Australia, and everything kind of just fits in except for the birth dates. But when you make the Ronald here a little bit younger, maybe 1764, it makes a little bit more sense. Because, 105 would be a very long time to live for someone in 1754. Not saying it's not impossible, but it's just, a little bit not believable, kind of. But they have him in Canadian censuses and all that, and they have his gravestone. And there's apparently a Macdonald cemetery in Canada in this area. And yeah. So now we're kind of looking at what this other family has as the family tree. So this is definitely, with a grain of salt. You can't really believe all this, but apparently it was Hugh McIsaac Macdonald. And here you start having a lot of family trees that kind of filter their way up to these people. So these are the only clues you have, and I'm really not confident that this is true. It could be. This could be 100% true, but I don't know for sure. And he was born in this area, and yeah, so that's kind of as far as I'm willing to go. I'm not confident to keep going with these next people because I really can't prove any of it. But as far as Donald and Ronald, I think that might be where we are. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something. And if you have anything to add, let me know. I'd appreciate it. All right, bye.